Why is it important to know about the artificial soul? Consider this: there is nothing that exists outside of ourselves. Everything around you is simply a projection of what is inside you. As within, so without. Taking this knowledge, now apply it to yourself and think about what that layer, that artificial soul, surrounding your spirit might resemble. Do you think it might resemble a shell or a barrier that prevents you from accessing your true self? Can you think of something else that we know and speak of as being a barrier that prevents us from accessing the true universe? The grid is inside of us, and it all begins from there. It has been said that our planet is surrounded by a barrier, a frequency grid, that keeps us trapped within this reality. It's also been said that we are keeping that grid in place by our vibration. When it was discovered that there are now holes in the grid, the reason for the holes was given. Humans awakening are creating these holes. Humans are creating access points to get out of here based on their expanding consciousness. We are doing it. We are connected to this reality experience in a very fundamental way. This artificial soul that has been placed around us is the same as the grid placed around our planet. When we encourage you to listen to the remote viewing session by Brett Stewart on Moksha, he described an experience where he saw something being taken from us, being removed during the process of moving through the recycle or reincarnation system. These fragments or parts that are being stripped from us are used literally to feed the system. We know that these evil beings consume our life force energy, lush. But how does this feed our trap system? Could it be that this grid is made from the same stuff that our artificial soul is made? This makes sense when we know that our own expanding consciousness is what creates holes in the grid. In order to break down the barrier around the planet and regain access to the Ka, the universe in its entirety, we must break down our own inner barrier, our own personal grid inside us. All of this work that we have been encouraging people to do, overcoming fears, healing wounds, discarding false beliefs, not only about our reality, but most importantly about ourselves, is the process of breaking through your own personal inner grid. We can't be lazy. We can't just say, "Oh, I'm not going to worry about any of this. I'll just find a hole in the grid when I die and slip through it." If everything outside is just a projection of what is inside, the only holes you'll see are the ones you create. The Ka is not some location to travel to out in the cosmos. It is the expanded perception of all that is around you and inside you. That is what the Ka is. It isn't Orion, it isn't another galaxy or even another universe. The Ka represents 100% perception to all there is. Theoretically, we could experience the Ka right here and right now if we had 100% perception of everything that surrounds us. This is the reason why we say that the spirit is already connected to the Ka. It is not something we can perceive within this limited frequency spectrum with our eyes and ears. Spirit is in the Ka, and every time you connect with your higher self spirit, you are assessing the Ka. You are punching holes in your own artificial soul/grid that seeks to keep you cut off and disconnected from this aspect of you, just as the grid around our planet seeks to keep us cut off and disconnected from experiencing all that exists. One question that may come to mind as you are listening to this or reading this is, how can I know if I have holes in my personal grid or not? There is one simple answer to this. Keep working on yourself until you have reached that point where you don't need anyone to tell you about the aspects of yourself. You will know that you are freeing yourself. It is a knowing. If you do not understand what that means, keep working. You will. It isn't anything that you do, rather it is about achieving a state of being. Tom Campbell. Tom Campbell says it all with this one statement. There are no steps to follow, exercises to learn, or lessons that we can give you. Everyone must do their own work to break through their own grid. This is the main reason why no one can come and save us. No one can get us out of here except ourselves. We were meant to work together as a group, to inspire each other, learn the truth of our reality together, and then the entire system would fail. This is impossible now, so it's each human for herself. The way out is inside and through yourself. You are the exit you create out of here. There have been other groups who were placed within the same containment we are in. These groups were able to see through the deception of their reality as a collective, however, and managed to break the bars of their prison and get out. We are too far gone for that now. We have observed that some people think there is a literal switch, maybe located at some far corner of the planet, that if we can only find it, we can switch the grid off. Think about this. First, it isn't true. Second, if it were true, and our souls are tied to that grid, switching it off will switch us off as well, so there isn't any such thing as existing here in peace and harmony with no grid and no trap system. The only way to flip the kill switch to the grid is if every human on the planet wakes up and disagrees with this imprisonment, and if that were to happen, we would automatically find ourselves existing in the calm. Can you imagine how unprepared some of us might be? Can you imagine what conditions some of us might be in? Do you think it is wise for us to neglect our own maturity? We need to grow up first. This is the hard truth that everyone must learn if they are to begin this journey. We aren't role-playing here. We aren't pretending to be anything we know we are not. The first step on each person's journey out of here needs to start with being honest with ourselves. If we are not willing to be honest with ourselves, how can we possibly be honest with each other? Authenticity is crucial in this maturing process. We must be willing to admit to what we don't know, and willing to stop pretending that we can get farther down the road without coming to terms with our own inner shadows. If the artificial soul can be described in a simple way, it is our shadow. It is our ego. It is our personal trap. Once you reconnect with your spirit, you will discover that our spirit wants to be free. That intention is very strong, and you will begin to be exposed to truths that you may have never considered before. You may discover things about yourself that you were afraid to confront or didn't even know were there. Wounds, fears, false beliefs. If you find yourself becoming aware of these things, you can be sure that this is your higher self's way of answering your plea to be free. You are being shown how to do it. Be careful what you ask for, right? Do you really want to be free? If so, you must be willing to do what it takes. If not, you create your own blockages between what you are asking, intentions, and what you are receiving. Take some time to think about this. We have an incredible opportunity and privilege for growth here. We are able to expand and mature at a very rapid rate, much more rapid than happens for most beings who do not have these opportunities. We will live in the state of being we achieved during our lifetime here. If you want an existence that is alive, full of creation, and the highest vibration possible, then work on getting yourself as close to that as possible while you are here, so that you can hit the ground running when you get out. When asked what we will experience once we get out of here, the answer was given, you will experience whatever you expect to experience. In other words, it's all up to us. That's the final and simple truth of everything now, isn't it? We do not need anyone to give us hope. We have all the hope we need when we create it for ourselves. If you want out, get yourself out. It's not easy, and it's not meant to be. Beware of anyone or anything that is telling you they will help you get out of this mess. They will only help you right back into it. Work on yourself, and you will know that you don't need help.